We are delighted and honored to have with us the distinguished composer and songwriter Nurit Hirsh. Nurit, you studied classical piano at the Tel Aviv Academy of Music. You've studied with some of the greatest Israeli musicians, composition with Mordechai Seter, clarinet with Yaakov Barnea, orchestration with Noam Sharif, and conducting with Laszlo Roth. You've won the Israel Prize, among many other honors. You've composed over 1,000 songs for both adults and children, some of which have become classics, including Bashana Haba'ah, Oseh Shalom, Perach Halilach, and Abba Nibi, which won the first prize in the 1978 Eurovision Song Contest. You've composed music for films and stage, including the great film Salah Shabbati. How did you get started in this crazy music business?
Since I was a little girl, I was attached to music. I loved music. And my father used to sing for me opera pieces. He was an opera singer and a violinist in Vienna. So I knew operas since I was 3 years old. And when I was in elementary school, I wanted to study music. And I was lucky that the music teacher in the elementary school called my parents and said that I should study music. And they didn't have much money, but they made an effort and sent me to a piano teacher. And the neighbors in the second floor had a piano they brought from Berlin, and they agreed to let me practice on their piano. And then I started to play and to invent melodies. I was 7, 8 years old. This was the start.
So your
Then,
parents were supportive of your music?
absolutely, they supported me all the way. And they didn't force me to
Mhm.
practice. Usually, the parents force the children to play the piano. With me, it was the opposite. My mother told me, Nurit, go breathe fresh air, go play with friends. No, I wanted only to practice, practice, practice. And she used to sit near me and repair socks. Then we repaired socks in Israel,
Yeah.
and she had to hear my scale da 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 for hours scales. I still play scales and hour scales every day. I love
Wow.
it. Yes, I love it.
We're doing this as part of a series on women in Jewish music. And one of the things that we are discovering is that for many women, a career in music was very difficult in what was a male dominated profession, certainly until recent years. Did you encounter any obstacles in your career for being a woman?
I remember only one time when I did Salah Shabbati, the band were the rhythm section, and they didn't like they didn't like me to tell them what to do. They made jokes, and they behaved not very well. But this was the only case. During all my long career, I didn't feel professional discrimination. When I recorded in the studio classical music with the Philharmonic Orchestra players, they respected me, they saw the score, they were colleagues. I didn't feel discrimination. I was lucky.
That's wonderful. Do you think
Yes.
that's more so in Israel than other countries?
Today, I don't think so. Today,
Mhm.
everything changed.
Yes,
But up
true.
till today, I'm the only, it's not modest to say, but it's the truth that I'm still the only woman who composes and arrange for orchestra and conduct and recording, a producer. I produced many records, not only mine, in the studios. And have you heard of the Eurovision Song Contest?
Yes.
Because in America, it's not so popular. So this millions watch the Eurovision International Song Contest, and I and another woman are the only two women through the long history of the Eurovision who conducted the orchestra and orchestrated the symphonic orchestra. Why? I don't have an answer.
Well, you alluded to the many different aspects of your career. How do you manage it? How do you juggle all these aspects of your career as a musician, both classical and popular, composing, conducting,
I
orchestrating?
like to juggle. I get bored easily. I want to expand. I want to do everything. I love every kind of music, classical, opera, chazanut. Chazanut, I love it. My father used to sing operas for me, but when I was a little girl, I lived with my grandparents who were religious Jews, and they took me to the synagogue, to the shul, every Shabbat and holiday, and I heard the melodies of the Chazan, and I fell in love with it. And many songs of mine have Hasidic motifs in the music. Even folk songs, Israeli, you can see inside little fragments of Hasidic music.
How do you compose? I mean, how do you get started when you're writing a song, either on a commission or if you have your own idea? How does the muse come to you? What inspires you? Do you ever get stuck when you're trying to compose?
There is no answer for this miracle. It's a secret. It's a miracle. I have no explanation how the inspiration comes from. Just an idea pops into my mind out of the blue, usually in the morning. I'm a morning person. And I write it on notes, or I record it in my little tape recorder I don't want to forget. And then I work on it until I am happy and content. But if I'm not happy, even I worked hours and days, I forget about it. I have no sentiment. If it's not good, another one will come. This is how I do it. But at first, I didn't have people who write lyrics. I started very young to invent melodies. But when I was in the army, I started to connect with lyricists. And my first melody is Perach Halilach, the lilac flower, about a young, innocent love. And it goes like this. I'll show you.
Please.
היום אולי נדחית בו הלילה ולא נשאף לאור כוכב אין לי ולך יש כל אשר נשאר לה מבלי מילים נדע זאת כי נורא שותקים נורא כי לי ולך די בלי מילים שהן לאלה אשר אינם יודעים לומר אחרת כמה יפה פורח עלילך.
First song.
Beautiful.
First came the melody, then the kibbutznik Uri Asaf wrote lyrics about the lilac tree because on the entrance to his house there was a lilac bush, and this is the first song. I'm very attached to this song.
Wow.
The
So
first one.
interesting that the melody came first and then the lyrics were written to suit the melody.
Yes, it's different. When I have an idea, I write a melody, but sometimes after I knew lyricists, they gave me lyrics. Then I am confined to the rhythm, to the shape, to the everything. It's not free. It's a challenge. Like music in the movies, you have a challenge to write according to the scene. So it's a challenge, but it's different. You have to follow the lyrics, the lines. You don't have a place to breathe. When I play, I invent a melody. I said, la 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 la. It's different.
So the piece that Zamir has performed that began this program is Boker Shel Zahav. Did Chalfi write the lyrics for you? Did you discover his poem? Did the melody come first? What happened in that case?
I started to be famous and my songs were on the radio, and he came to me and he showed me the text. That's all how it happened. I liked the lyrics. He was older, much older than me, but there was something like young and childish in him, in Shimshon Chalfi. It was so young and fresh and vibrant. I composed it. Yes, and then Chedva and David, a very good duo, performed it for the first time. Then when it became popular, Aryeh Levanon took it on his own initiative and orchestrated it, arranged it.
Yes.
And he was one of the best arrangers in Israel. He arranged many of my songs and hundreds of songs. And I'm very happy with this arrangement. And I must confess that this song has many performances. The best, honestly, the best is the Zamir Boston. It's the best of the best. It's so perfect, and you conduct it perfect.
That makes this interview worthwhile right now.
Yes, and it's the
Thank
truth.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. So that's Aryeh Levanon's arrangement
Yes.
that we're using, and it is.
But I have many arrangements from Yecheskel Brown,
Yes.
from Gil Aldema, and many more.
But your song is very optimistic. Boker Shel Zahav.
I am an optimistic person. I am very optimistic. I see the full half of the glass.
Yes.
Yes.
So we were talking about this choral arrangement of Boker Shel Zahav. Have you had experience with a choir? Did you ever sing in a choir or conduct a choir?
Never. I specialize in orchestration. I love the instruments. I studied from young age with Noam Sherif, and I made so many arrangements to Philharmonic Orchestra, to 12 soundtracks for songs, for other composers' songs. I love, when I compose a song, at the same time, I hear it with the whole orchestra. I know every instrument will play, who will play what. But I was not interested. I'm not engaged in arrangements for choirs. They take my songs and they choose who will arrange them.
And we're glad that they do.
Yes.
So you have written many songs with lyrics from the Bible and from the Tefillot, from the prayers, Oseh Shalom, Tzion Halot Tish'ali, Shirat Devorah, many others. Tell us, what role does Jewish tradition play in your life and in your music?
It plays a main role. Since my early childhood, when I was 2 years old, as I told you before, I lived with my grandparents because we didn't have money to buy an apartment. So we lived together, and I heard the Chazanut and the Tfilot and Leila Seder. Everything was Kehilchato. And it's called Girsa de Yankuta. Girsa de Yankuta in Aramit is what you learn in your early childhood, stays with you forever, for the rest of your life. And Chazanut is very strong. I still go to concerts of Chazanut. And my grandfather used to take me, when he came in Israel, to the Malavsky concerts, the family Malavsky, and I performed with Israel Rand. I don't know if you know Israel Rand. And I have contacts with Chazanim. I love Chazanut. And the text from the Bible are an endless inspiration for me. Shira Shirim. I wrote so many songs based on verses from the Bible. I can't count. I don't know if you know, I composed this song, Umordechai Yatza.
No, I don't know it.
It's very popular
Purim.
for Purim.
ומרדכי יצא מלפני המלך בלבוש מלכות ועטרת זהב. ומרדכי יצא מלפני המלך והעיר שושן צהלה ושמחה. ליהודים הייתה אורה ושמחה.
It's all over the world in the tefillah. Children in school study it. They don't believe that I composed it. Now you know it.
It was given to Moshe on Har Sinai. Speaking of which, I mean, we have to mention this song that you wrote, Oseh Shalom. And it is hard to believe that this came from you. Again, that this song that is sung by Jews all around the world, and they think it's part of the traditional tefillot.
Kaddish, the
What
Kaddish.
would you like to have that?
I participated in a competition, a Hasidic festival, and I chose this text, and I wrote the song, and I gave it to Yigal Bashan, and I didn't dream it will, איך אומרים, יפרוס כנפיים,
Spread its wings.
spreads its wings to the whole wide world. And on YouTube, I hear Oseh Shalom with the Christian choirs, also in Europe. And I didn't believe my own ears. A year and a half ago, I was in New York. I performed with the Hazamir in Lincoln Center. And I went to see shows on Broadway. I went to a show, Come From Away, a wonderful show, musical. It's theater and musical together, many Tony Awards. Suddenly I hear my song, 4 minutes, Oseh Shalom Bimromav. Prayer. You can open on the YouTube prayer and you hear my song. They thought it was a folk song, old ancient folk song. Am I so ancient?
What does it feel like to be the creator of an ancient folk song? It's extraordinary. And I'm sure you get lots of royalties for this performances in every synagogue around the world, right?
No, they don't pay royalties. But I don't care for the royalties. I like people to sing my songs. I don't care. I never took money for composing a song. Never.
But you must have this wonderful feeling of satisfaction to know that so many people are inspired by your music. And it's a great, Nurit, it is a great talent to be able to write a song that people think is a folk song.
I know, and I appreciate it.
It's been around for hundreds of years. That is a great talent.
I know, and I'm very satisfied with this fact. And also, Bashana Haba, also spread
its wings.
Yeah.
All right, talk about optimism in a song. What a wonderful that message that is for us today. Bashana Haba, as we say, this is not a great year that we're having right now, but we have to look forward to the fact that things will get better in the future. And that's what that song is all about.
This is the greatness of the lyrics of my partner, Ehud Manor. He wrote the lyrics and I wrote the melody, and he was a great lyricist. He passed away 15 years ago, but we were partners.
Which came first in that case, the words, the melody?
The words. And when I worked with him, sometimes I started the music and he adapted the words. Sometimes we had a collaboration, like Roger the Hammerstein, coming like this. Yeah. Abani B. So we were competing for the Eurovision contest. And he had an idea. the B language. You know what it means?
Yes.
After each syllable, you add the letter B. I love you,
Ni
abay
becomes-
labay yubu.
Yeah.
Joshua, Jaboshua ba.
Oh, you're very good at it.
Yeah, I used to, everybody was using it to speak so that the parents won't understand.
Mm.
This was the idea behind the language. And he said, let's do the B language. Let's do. So when I heard it, immediately on the spot, on the telephone, I said, I love you. This is the most cliche, obvious sentence. So I invented this original sentence. I love you, abay labay yubu. אני אוהב אותך, הבני בי או אבב או בטבח. Immediately, הבני בי או אבב, הבני בי או אבב או בטבח. Telephone to Ehud, said, okay, good. What next? I said, next, you write the verse. כשהיינו ילדים. Then I said, it's not enough. We need a bridge to breathe, something romantic. And I said, Ahava. This is the advantage of inventing before the melody, before the lyrics. I could say, Ahava, hi mila yafa. So he wrote the lyrics. Finito. This is how it went. One day on the telephone.
And you won first prize.
Yes.
Nurit Hirsh, this is conducting the orchestra for the Israel entry, song number 18. The song is called Abba Nibi, it's called. And here come Alpha Beta. Simple peasant smocks, cream trousers, the girls all in white. And this is a good vivacious song for Israel. Might do very well.
Amazing.
And I did the arrangement and the choreography because I was after 3 years in Los Angeles, and I was very inspired by the Black Afro-American singers, Jackson 5 and all these singers. And I said to myself, I must have a choreography. So I took a very famous choreographer, and I participated in one move. Pay attention because it's very short. The last note is Abani biyo bo ebevo bo tabach. This move, everybody, my copyright.
Kol hakavod.
Yes.
So, what's it been like for you in this past half a year during the pandemic? Have you been able to continue making music by yourself, with others? What's it like?
I am always by myself. I like to be by myself. I don't have many friends, too many friends. My routine since I was a young girl, was getting up in the morning, practice, 4, 5, 6 hours a day piano. And I was a good student, and I went to the Academy of Music with high school. In parallel with high school, I went to Academy of Music, and my whole world was music. Music and walks on the beach. I love the beach, and I like to walk on the beach.
Where did you live?
And the day near the beach.
Tel Aviv?
Yes,
Yeah.
near the beach. We go every day, promenade.
It's a wonderful promenade along the beach there.
Yeah, it's 2-3 minutes from where I live. And I don't need more because I don't start the morning, the day is over. I have so many things to do. But usually I perform 40 or 50 concerts a year, which is a lot. Most of the concerts are in elementary schools. I initiated a program which is called Sharim Moreshet, Singing Heritage. It is according to the Ministry of Education program for studying love of Israel, heritage, democracy, and I adapted to the program, my songs like Ose Shalom and according to the topics of the program. And the children study my songs. Up till today, I performed in 750 schools in Israel. Wow. And about how many students?
600,000.
600,000 children studied my songs. Every year, I'm invited to another school, and it's a special, like special day, and the parents come, and the children come, and the grandparents, and the sisters and brothers, and whatever, and women, nursing come, and they study my songs about half a year in advance, and then I come and I host the show, and I sing and tell in short stories about the songs, and the children perform. They dance, they play, they do theater. Every school, according to the inspiration of the children. It's the my baby project.
You must
for the last 12 years, and yes, I miss it. I miss seeing the little children. Yeah, I miss it. Wow. It's the only thing I miss, because now I have quiet and peace of mind to do things that for years I didn't have time to do, like arrange the piles of papers and music sheets and arrangements. Everything was in piles. Now, after a few months, it's in order.
Yeah, like a yeka.
Yes, like a yeka.
Are you still composing these days?
No, I don't have inspiration, but I do the administration of my music, because the National Library asked me to deliver my musical stuff, material, 15 years ago, but I was so productive and so busy that I didn't have to do it. Now I have the peace of mind, no telephones, no disturbance. I must confess I'm quite happy. But the but is I look a lot on the television and hear the radio, and I know what's going on, and it disturbs me a lot. People don't have work. People are miserable.
Did you ever write protest songs? Political songs?
No, it's not my style. No.
So I'm going to ask you a favor. For our audience that heard us sing Boker Shel Zahav.
Yes.
Could we hear what it sounds like when you sing it?
It's not interesting in comparison to the Zamir Boston.
But the authenticity of it.
וענקו קטן וענקו שובב מנקר
wonderful pianist and a wonderful singer as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nurit, is there anything else that you'd like to tell us?
Is there anything that you would like to ask me? Feel free to ask me anything. I'm open to every question. I can tell you about my children. Yes, I have 2 children. My older son is Dan. He is a jazz player, teacher. He studied many years in New York, jazz. And he's kind of a mentor in his field. He founded an orchestra in Stricker, which is the jazz school in Israel. Like he was the years in America, and he's a trumpeter, and he plays 7 instruments. And I'm very proud of him as a Jewish mother with a Polish mother. And my daughter is Ruth. She is a singer, soprano, but deep soprano, mezzo and soprano. She lives in Berlin, and she is a diva. Jewish mother. She's an opera singer. I didn't say so. Opera singer, yes.
Nachat.
So, yeah. So the 3 of us have common language. No barriers of generations, because we know since there were little children, you get up in the morning, you practice. We have an understanding. 3 are musicians, and it's good.
Lovely. So sounds like you didn't have to force them into music. This is something that they wanted to do, that they had to do for themselves.
They forced me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you said I could ask you any question. So here's one.
Yes.
The songs that you write make me think of Shirei Eretz Yisrael Hayafa, the traditional wonderful songs of Israel. Obviously, there are many different styles now.
Yes.
With the coming of rock and roll, the interest in Greek music styles, even the hip hop and the rap that you can hear, the influence of the Hasidic music and so on, the Sephardi, the Ashkenazi, the Piyut, etc. What do you think of the Israeli music scene today that seems to have gone in many different directions?
Yes, this is the trend today. Everything is legit. And I love it. I don't like to, איך אומרים, להתרפק על הפסט, to dwell on the past. I don't like to dwell and to say our generation was better and the young, what a generation. It's nonsense. Every generation with its own inventions, and I never look back. Never. I'm not nostalgic. I look for new music, new ideas. It excites me. I like it. But the basic, to my belief, is a good melody. When it comes to songs, popular songs, you can have this trend and that trend, and hip hop and this, but there's nothing like a good, solid melody that will reach the hearts, that will enter the hearts of people, and the rest is just decoration. That's my belief.
Well, I think that's a beautiful way to end. Nurit, thank you so much. You have been so sweet, easy to talk to, and I'm very grateful for your time and for your music.
Yes, thank you from all my heart. The same things that you said to me, I give you back. I sent you back.
Thank you. I wish you
להתראות,
אני מקווה, in good health.
in Pardes Chana.
Okay, it's a date.
Yes.
All right.
Bye-bye.